Hello there, Primary 3, 4 and 5. We are going to be building on the work that we did last time, which, if you remember, we were using the kind of elastic bands idea for drawing. We didn't actually use elastic bands, but they look a bit like elastic bands that we're making the body up from. So you might have your drawing from last time that you can look at today and think about. And last time we looked at skiing. And this time I thought you can still look at skiing if you want to, but what we're going to try and do today is make a picture that has more than one person in it, and you could think about which winter sport it is that you would like to explore a little bit more. So you can see on my screen here, I had a search for winter sports illustrations, and these are some that I thought looked quite good. So we'll have a little look at some of them together. So you're going to be thinking about the way that the body bends. So if you have a look at this person here, if I try and get my red dot to come up. Oh, not coming up, never mind. This person here anyway, you can see there that they've got a really good bend in the elbow and a good bend in the knee and on their feet as well, where their ankles are. Okay, and thinking about which way their head is facing. So this person here is on a snowboard. So perhaps today you'd like to explore snowboarding. Maybe you're more interested in ice skating. You can see that this person here's got one straight arm and one bent arm, and the knees have got a bit of a bend in them as well. Last week we had a look at skiing. Here's a skier here. You might want to keep going with skiing. This person's bending forward a bit. Their elbows are both bent and their knees are both bent. Okay, have we got any other ones? Anything else? Oh yeah, we've got a sledger at the bottom here. So maybe you've been sledging a bit, lots of you have been sledging over the last few weeks. So perhaps you might choose to do sledging. So you've got a person sitting down here with one leg bent and one leg just slightly bent. One arm, one elbow bent, holding onto the rope, and one arm up in the air. So you might want to have a look at sledging today. So I'm going to show you some more of the pictures that I have found, and then you can do a bit more research on your own. So let's have a look. This one here had, I quite like this, that was quite a good pose actually, this one. Sorry if that's a wee bit blurry. This pose here that this snowboarder is doing was quite good. The arms are out, they're not quite straight, but they're almost straight. One looks like it's going forward and one looks like it's going backwards a little bit. And the knees are bent as well. So snowboarding, you get some really good poses. Look at this person here with the purple and green on. I've moved them into the middle. So they've got their knees bent, but we're kind of looking at them from the front this time. So their legs look really short, even though they aren't. It's just the angle that we can see them at. Right, let's have a look and see. Oh, there's some people just relaxing up here. So you could maybe have someone sitting down if you wanted to. And, oh, we've got a dog on there. So you remember in the artwork we're looking at today, you maybe managed to find the dog. So there's a dog pulling someone along on their skis. But there's another person there just beside it being pulled along by a dog on their skis. So just as I'm looking, I'm starting to get some really good ideas for body shapes and the way that the body's going to be positioned. Let's have a look at some more that I found. So these were mostly skiers, but a few snowboarders on there as well. So again, this is quite a good pose here. Got a good bending. It's like their bottom's sticking back. Their knees are, one knee's really quite bent and the other's almost straight, but not quite. The way these drawings have been done, it's a bit hard to see the bend on the elbows on that one. Just the style of the drawing, but you can see the arms aren't totally straight. You might choose to do someone like this person here, looks like they're about to fall over. So you might want to do that. If you remember back to the artwork at the beginning of our lesson today, there was some people who looked like they were in these poses. These ones here are a bit stiller poses, so they're not moving quite so much, but you can see on there the good bends in the elbows and knees. Now, I really want you to think about that. That's one of our success criteria today, to make sure that your elbows and knees on your figure have got a bit of bend in them if they need to. Like this person here, they've been ice skating and their legs are quite straight because they're standing straight, and that's okay. But if they need to be bent, we need to show that on the knees and the elbows. This one was quite good, I thought, because we've got somebody sitting on the sledge and got a good bend in the knees. It's a bit hard to see this person's elbows, person on the sledge's elbows, just because they've got a black jacket on. But I thought, oops, just get that back to where it was. There we go. But you can see there, that's quite good. So you might want to do something like that with someone pulling someone along on a sledge. And I thought this one looked quite good. So today I'd like you to think about getting a few different people into your drawing, and perhaps yours might look a bit like this when it's finished. So we've got some people in there on a sledge together, good bending of the elbows at the front of this one. This person here skiing down, really good bending of elbows and knees, and kind of leaning forward a little bit as well. And this person, well, that looks like good fun, tubing down, and they've still got bent elbows and bent knees even though they're sitting in the rubber ring. Okay, somebody doing some snowballs there, so you might want to choose maybe a few different sports and try and get them all in. I think, I did have another picture. Yep. And again, just some more ideas there. So you might want to have maybe two people together, like these skaters, and they're in very similar poses. So that might be a good option for you. Perhaps I like this one, just out walking the dog. So that's really good exercise to get outside in the winter. So perhaps it could be someone walking a dog in your picture as well. I like this one with this person sledging because it's a bit of a different angle that you see. So you can see that they're coming down the hill with their hands up behind them. And a good sense of movement. You can see the gloves and the hat are falling off there. So what I'd like you to do is you could either look back at these ones that I have, and what I'll do in a moment is I'll just slide through them. So if you want to pause the video on any of them and maybe have a think, maybe draw some quick sketches, then that's something that you could do. Or you could have a look for your own. So if you're really interested in sledging, you might want to put sledging. I put illustrations, and so I didn't get an awful lot of photographs. I didn't get any photographs. So you might want to do that as well. It's up to you. So I'm going to just go back through my images now. And if you want to pause the video and think about any of them that you really like, do a bit of your own research, have a look and find some pictures, and then I'll give you a little demonstration of what we're going to do with them. So we're going to be doing a drawing a scene, really, maybe with a few different people in it. So here we go. I'm going to show you these ones now, and if you want to pause, you can pause. That's our first picture. Sledging picture. And pulled on the sledge. That's a nice clear one. Lots of really fast moving ones there. And that's back to, I think that's our first one with loads of action on there. Oh no, sorry, we've got one more. And we had this one was our first one. Okay, so make some sketches, have a think about what body positions you might want to draw your people in. You don't need to do a detailed drawing just now, but maybe even just make some notes in your mind and think, oh, I think I want to do a few people in these poses. Okay, and when you're ready, you can, when you're ready to do that, you can pause the video, and then I'll do some drawing to show you what we're going to do. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is just try and do some little thumbnail sketches. So what I've got, you don't need to print these out because you could look at them. I can't look at them and record at the same time, so I've had to print them. But I've printed out just a couple of these ones that we were looking at on the iPad. So you can just have a look at them on your screen. You really don't need to print these out. And what I'm going to do is, just on a piece of paper, I'm going to do a little thumbnail sketch. And to do a thumbnail sketch, it's just so you can practice, rather than going straight into your drawing and going, that's, you know, and then you're stuck with it, that's the one I'm going to do. You can have a go at maybe doing like 4 little boxes on the back of your paper. And you can have a little play around with how your picture's going to be looking. It's called composition, how you're going to compose it, where you're going to put everything. So it's really handy to have some of these pictures to get you thinking about bringing some of them in. If you've got your own ideas, then absolutely go for it. You don't need to copy these ones, but these can just give you some inspiration. So the first thing I'm going to do on my thumbnail sketch, I hope you can see it okay there, it's not too small, but I'm just going to draw a line just to show my kind of hill that we're working on. You might not be at a hill, yours might be like a frozen lake or something, or an ice rink. I might do that next, but I think for this one I'm just going to do the hill, but I'm going to try a different way of doing the hill. I might do it the opposite direction. I always seem to draw them going that way. I think it's because I'm left-handed, I go from the top to the bottom, but you can decide what you want to do. And then I'm just looking at my pictures and I'm just picking some that I think, oh, I'd quite like to try. So I might go for, say, this person. Maybe they might be down here somewhere. So their body's kind of, so remember our elastic band drawings we were doing, where we just kind of draw the elastic bands just round circles, and then for making our bodies up, and then our poles come back. These are just rough drawings. You don't need to do any detail or hair or clothes or anything on them. So that person might be there, and I might have somebody looking like they're about to sledge down the hill. Have I got any good sledging pictures on this one? Well, there's somebody sledging there. Don't think that's going to work for me. I don't want to have them there, but I might turn that round and they could perhaps be sledging, so maybe down the hill up here. So I could just start to think about, could maybe get a good picture of a sledge. I can't see that sledge very well. Sledging, so what have they got? They've got their knee bent up, so my elastic band's coming on, and then they've got the rope, so they'll need to have their arm maybe down and out, so they're holding on. So I'm just getting some ideas here. They're maybe sledging that way, they're going this way. Could do with someone, I'll have them all going the same way, or someone facing this way. Let's have a look. Maybe I'll have somebody who is just going for a walk with these kind of, I'm not sure what these are called, these snowshoes on. They've got a big backpack as well. I'm going to draw them. So I could just have a go just with the elastic bands. And the elastic bands just mean that it helps us. Remember, your arm is made up of 2 parts, well, more than 2 parts, but in the drawing you've got your upper arm and your lower arm, and then your hand on at the end. It's just so that we don't have any dead straight arms. Maybe make that head a bit higher. And they've got a big backpack on as well. That could be quite good to draw. And they've got these snowshoe things on. To try and find out the correct word for those, I'm not sure what they're called. So, looking at that one, it's not bad, but it looks like these two are going to crash into each other. So my next one, I might have this person, perhaps I might have my sledge person. I'm going to draw that again. So this is the good thing about doing a wee thumbnail sketch. You're not spending an awful lot of time doing it, but it just helps you to go, well, actually this time I'm going to move this person over to here. So I'm going to have them, yeah, they could point the same way. That would be fine. So I could have them over here. And again, I can look back to my picture if I want to. I'm kind of doing this one, but I've got them facing the other way than is in the picture, but that's okay. It just gives me an idea of thinking about how those legs are bending on the sledge, what it would look like. I suppose what you could also do is get someone to take a photograph of you sitting. If you've got a sledge, you could maybe get a photograph taken of you on the sledge and use that. That would be a really good way to kind of have a look at all of the way that your body moves when you're in these different positions. So I think that's better. What else did I have? I had the skier, and then I had the person walking. So I'm going to have my person walking. I think I want them walking in this direction. So turn their legs out. So just drawing those elastic bands. And they were on here, weren't they? They had their arms kind of out in front of them. It's really important to look, I think, rather than just making something up. If you keep looking, you'll get a much better picture. So they're got their poles on, and then they've got these wee snowshoe things on as well. So I've not left a lot of room for that. So next time I do this one, I might move them in a little bit. And then I could add in my other skier. I've got a bit more room this time. I'm going to make you remember and get their body facing that way a little bit. So I'm just sketching this out really roughly just now, and yours will be totally different from mine because you'll have chosen maybe different sports. That head's a bit small, there we go. Yours will have some different sports perhaps than I have, so hopefully you'll choose your own thing. Okay, you might even think, oh, I might want to have a bit of scenery in the background. I can think I might put a tree in there or something. Okay, or maybe a little house up on the hill. So you could also go, actually I don't like any of my ideas, I want to try something different, and it's really good. So I might go for like a curved, maybe these people are, we're not able to skate really on frozen lakes, it's not safe, but quite often you see it in pictures. But you could make it into an ice rink, like an indoor ice rink if you wanted to, and you could have some ice skaters on there. So what I want you to do is to draw 4 little rectangles. So mine's are not that big. You can do more than 4 if you want to, and I want you to challenge yourself to come up with some 4 different ideas, or change your ideas around a bit. So rather than just picking the first idea and going, that's what I'm doing, I want you to develop it a bit and go, oh, I'm going to try putting a skater in, or I'm going to try someone sledging in this one, or I want you to really think about it. Now, I don't think I've gone for very interesting poses on here. When you look at what some of these people are doing, they look really, really good. Could you try and do at least 2 people in your wee sketch? More if you want to, but see if you can do at least 2 people. Okay? So it'd be a good chance now to pause the video, to have a look at the images that you've got. Maybe you want to go and do a bit of searching for some on your own. And then we'll come back and start on our bigger drawing. Okay, so if you can pause now, get your sketch done, and then join me once you've done that. Okay, so you should have paused your video and done your little sketch, and now we're back to do our bigger picture. So this time you've got your 4 pictures. I didn't do a 4th one, but you're going to do your 4 pictures, and you're going to choose the one that you like the most. And I think I like this one the best. So this one or this one, I'm not quite sure, but yeah, which one will I do? I think actually let's go for this one. I always seem to do everyone facing this way, so this is challenging me a little bit more today. So we'll go for this one here, and then what you're going to do now is just take your time, use your little thumbnail sketch to help you, and then just start drawing it out, this time in a bit more detail. So yours will look different from mine, so you're not copying the one that I've done, but you're going to be sort of working through this one. Taking your time, really light drawing to start with, so that if you do anything and it doesn't quite work, then you can change it over. this time you can just take a bit more time with everything. So I'm just going to maybe do one of my figures with you just to go over the elastic band idea again, because maybe that's a bit tricky for you. So if I was doing this one here, I've got my body. So when I talk about elastic bands, it just looks like a little oval shape like that. So I've got my body there, and they're kind of facing forward a bit. And then my head's going to have to face forward a bit. Maybe a little elastic band for the neck, so we've got a bit of space. And I've got my body on there. And then an elastic band coming up for the, and we can do the legs. And don't forget, the feet can have their own elastic band. I can only see one leg here because of the way they're looking. And I'm going to have an elastic band, think of the shoulders there, and an elastic band coming out. Maybe have that coming down a bit. Because I've done that quite lightly, I can draw over the top. And these lines I can just rub out later on. And then there's the rope coming up onto this ledger. Okay. If I'll do the standing one as well, just so if you can maybe see it. So there's somebody sledging down the hill, and then this person here is sort of standing. So I'm going to draw them, get their head in first, an elastic band for their head, and you can do a wee one for the neck if you want to, and then the body can get an elastic band shape. This one looks like it wants to face that way, but it's not. It's going to go this way. Just has that look already that it seems to want to face the opposite way. I think it's the way shape I've done the body. And then two elastic bands for the leg. Now that you might think, oh, that's the legs done, but it's not. That's just down to the knees. And then this person here, I'm going to change that elastic band and move it out a bit and do their knee coming down, and then a wee one there. And then this one's going to be just a bit straighter, and then their foot coming down, and then they had their arm coming down and bending at their elbow. Remember, that's really what we're thinking about today, is getting these bodies looking a bit more realistic. That could be their hand. The other hand might be beside them, or you might just see it popping out behind the body. Another walking pole. And these shoe things we can add on as well. So you're going to draw your three figures out a bit like that. And then what we're going to, so if you want to do that, and you can pause the video when you've got your three figures drawn in. Okay, so hopefully you've got at least two figures in, maybe you've got three. Okay, what you're going to do now is we're going to add on their clothing. So just like we did last week, when we do this in class, what people tend to do is they keep the clothing going right into the edge of the elastic band, and then it doesn't look very real because your body's not really that shape. It doesn't go in that much at the knees. So when you're going to draw over these, and you might want to do it straight on in pen if you're feeling confident, and then you can rub out the ghost lines, or you could go in and do it in pencil first, and then you could go over it in pen if you want to. I'm going to start this one with some big snow boots actually. So some snow boots onto here. So we could add them on. And the same again onto here. And then a bit chunkier. And then, so I'm not going right into, don't need to go all the way in. You can see there, I'm just going sort of, just the elastic bands just give me a good idea to get some shape. So my person looks a bit more realistic. I don't need to go right into there because it might be a bit too slim on there. I'm going to do the arm first. If I do the body first, then I have to kind of miss out the arm. So the arm's in front of the body, so I'm going to do that first. So I could even just do the sleeve kind of coming down. And I don't want the sleeve of this jacket. If you're out in the really cold weather, you need the lots of quite puffy clothing that keep you warm, so don't need to go in too close to the shape. It just kind of helps us out. And then we might have the bottom. So now I'm thinking about the clothes rather than the body. There's the bottom of that jacket. And that arm's behind our body, as our body's coming up around here. And then on here, you might even have, instead of drawing all of this, you might have a kind of hood coming up, and you can see them just, maybe they're just from the front like that. Maybe one of these hoods with the all the sort of fluffy bits, the parka bits coming off the front there. So it might be a bit more like that, and you can draw in, start to think about drawing in face features and things in there. So today's just taken it on a bit further than we did last time. Last time we did one figure. This time we're looking at different poses, looking at we're really trying to remember to get a good bit of bending in elbows and things like that. I'm noticing here this doesn't quite match. Look, the bottom of the jacket and that going in, so I could go over that a little bit. So keep looking at your drawing all the time, thinking about how it's looking, how it's working. Start adding in some details if you want to. And so your task today is really to get your drawing with more than one figure in. And if you want to make it more challenging, mixing up the sports a little bit. Okay, so I'm really looking forward to seeing some of your finished work, and you can show us that on Teams, and if you tag me, I'll be able to have a look at it. I'd really love to see some of them, so that'd be great to see them by the end of the day or whenever you're going to be doing them. Okay, good luck, and remember to keep looking back to the images if you need a little bit of help. You don't need to print these off, but they can be really helpful just to get you thinking about different ways that the body can look. Okay, see you next time. Thank you.